All right, hey everybody on the Facebook and YouTube stream-a-lama ding-dongs. We are just gonna double check our live sound on the videos, and then we're gonna go live on RadioVegas.Rocks.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Just a moment, I just get in the Facebook feed live.
No more moments allowed. You are chocked the fuck out of moments, man.
This feels like any accidents absolutely intentional.
Facebook, why do you hate everybody?
I think I meant to do this.
Oh, it was me. You know, I guess at some point I muted the sound to my Facebook on someone else's shit I was muting. Hey,
I bet they did it.
hey, it's my fault for ever silencing anyone else on this computer. I got back to me now. I got silenced. Oh, that's cool. At least that survived me unplugging it and plugging it back in all meanly. Like, while it's going on. All right. I just gotta make sure I didn't destroy the YouTube window. Oh, yeah, you hear me on there.
Yeah.
Boom.
You
back muted? Okay. Now we can have a show, you guys. We did it for you. And we learned it from watching you. All right. That's how we learn and grow. Learning and growing. That was a nice accidental sting, fella. Okay, get ready. We're about to have ourselves some show. All right.
Oh yeah, we're not having it yet. Oh yeah, we gotta wait. Okay.
That's right.
We did it.
Yeah, we've got a talk show going on. Yeah, one more time.
But it might be the last one. If we decide it is.
Yeah, either of us could die at any moment.
It's true. So could you.
Yeah, we're on a rock hurtling through space.
Tragic.
Oh, hey, I'm making red lights on the Facebook one. Hey, that's why I'm looking out. I got 2 aggro on that. All right, so we've got super bonus news. We've got an awesome guest, Lizzy Oft, also known as Lizzy Minx, is gonna hop on the show a little bit later. But until then, we're going to talk about all kinds of fun news without her, and she's gonna have to tune in later.
Yeah, it's been one of those weeks.
One of those weeks.
Although I guess if you look hard enough, you can find strange shit popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
Especially in America.
We We've got quite the little country going on here.
Yeah.
I can't believe we have a third the population of India. And all the baloney, like the biggest military in the whole world by a factor of 10 or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. We're so good at Americaning, about doing the American thing. We're just so American right now. Not us, but yeah. I mean, America.
You know, where to start? That's the question.
Dude, that's my favorite Clancy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Even higher than Brett Clancy?
Who's that? Is that a hockey player?
Maybe.
You guys watch hockey and buy food. Because, man, as soon as hockey comes back, the delivery money situation is like, that turns into a real job for a second, that situation. Yeah.
Right.
Josh already hollered at us to turn the
Josh,
AC
what
off.
up?
He was checking in. Yeah,
Yep.
we got that AC off. Thanks, man. Dude, excellent guesting. Thank you so much for joining us on the YouTube stream. We've got that going. We've already got a couple homies on the Facebook stream. Shout out to Ange and Cassidy.
Yeah.
Of course, Jay's hollering about how hockey is back. Hell yes. Let's knock that puck around. Knock some pucks around. Puck time. Puck time. All right. So news.
Yeah, so I like this one. This seems like a good place to start. This strip club in Dayton, Ohio got shut down because police investigation revealed that the employees were accepting food stamps in exchange for lap dances and drugs.
Yeah, I mean, what's great about this is that all those strippers eating healthy, getting milk and bread with them food stamps.
Yeah, they aren't buying liquor with that.
No, you can't get liquor with food stamps. You can't get drugs with food stamps either way. So we've got healthy, well-built strippers in this town.
I mean, they could just exchange the food stamps for drugs at the strip club. So
so they can keep a whole cycle
Some
going.
places you can get drugs with food stamps, apparently.
Somewhere someone's using these food stamps and eating healthy and having a strong body and growing bones.
Yeah, plenty of people are, but some people are getting lap dances.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, whatever you want to do. It said, police said undercover agents exchanged a total of more than $2,400 in food stamps to purchase heroin, fentanyl, carfentanil, cocaine, meth, and lap dances. But the name of the place, good old Sharky's Lounge.
Sharkies.
Look, and of course, I want to meet the Sharky guy, Is he like the mastermind of the operation or what?
It's people that did really bad on Shark Tank. It's like no one liked their invention or whatever. And
Right? He's like, no.
Strip club then.
He's like, people think you can only buy food with food stamps, but I propose a new lucrative idea.
It's for the public good. You need these things too.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just stoked that these strippers are getting rid of their excess drugs. So you have some nice, healthy strippers in this area. What part of the world is this?
It was in Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, what's the next fella? We're having an early chug.
So this one just, man.
Each one starts with a disbelieving pause.
Yeah. So this dude, this Australian bloke, all right, was hanging out with his friends, and this took place 8 years ago, but it came to completion recently. Hanging out with his buds, the old big bunch of cunts that they are, and they see a big old slug crawling across the dock or deck wherever they're hanging out, and they're all drinking, having a good time, And then of course, the only thing to think of when you see a big slug is, hey, one of us should fucking eat that thing.
Naturally.
Yeah. So this guy drew the long straw, the short straw, whatever way you want to look at it, and he ate the slug.
Spoiler on this, or massive hint, this takes place in Australia, by the way.
Yeah. First of all, okay, so before we dig a little deeper, I gotta put a few notes on this. All right. First of all, you just don't eat random shit in Australia because like 90% of the animals there can kill you. They're all venomous or poisonous, right? Just don't eat random shit in Australia.
It's the worst place
Yeah,
to
to just-
interact with animals of any kind.
Yeah, especially like insects and bugs and slimy things. Like, just don't fucking do it, man. So anyway, after dude eats the slug, he starts getting sick, and goes to the doctor. He thinks he developed like cerebral palsy or some shit. Like, that's how fucked up he's getting. And turns out he contracted some fucking lungworm that rats carry. But slugs can carry it because they apparently eat rat feces.
They love it.
So
Slugs love
dude
it.
just like started this 8-year decline and just recently passed away, but it all can be traced back to that one dumbass moment of eating a slug.
Yeah, and then the worm going in his brain.
Yeah.
Which also means more MRIs. We should all get more MRIs all the time.
Yeah, if you're acting crazy or like
If you're
somebody
eating
knows,
random shit in Australia, you should really have more MRIs.
yeah, like every week. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's kind of sad, but also like if you're just gonna eat a random slug, I mean, you're rolling the dice on that one.
It shows the cradle of civilization where mankind grew up and gathered all of its innate traits that lives within each of us. This did not take place in Australia. We did not come from Australia. All the instincts that we have to eat random things to see if it's medicine or whatever, these instincts did not happen to us in Australia.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm an asshole. I say good riddance. You know, I mean, it sucks for the dude. I'm
that's
a little harsh. Yeah, I'm a little harsh. I'll
But
say
I mean,
it.
what
I
does
don't
this
give a
say?
fuck.
The Australian school system needs to be harder on this. They're like, yo, there's a part inside you. There's an age a young man becomes where you just want to eat things, and you've got to be stronger than that. It's like being in space. You can't just take your helmet off. You can't just put stuff in your mouth in Australia. It's not what you do.
But like, if someone goes out into space and they think it's a good idea to take their helmet off after they're out there, I'm not gonna stop them. I'm not. I'm gonna be like, you do you,
you've
man.
had enough warning at this point.
Yeah, like you had to have done the training to fucking go to space. You know better. You should know not to eat some weird ass fucking slug.
Yeah.
Man,
So,
we got our guest.
no, that's not guest barking. That's excitement barking.
No, I mean we have our guests, the dogs.
Like the dog guests?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Gotta love a good dog guest. I'd welcome them in here, but they seem like they're up to something more exciting than us, which is a shame. Sometimes they keep our laps warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. They never contribute something that I find really that intelligent though. Endearing maybe. And I think that's like a running theme of the show.
Do you think that the dogs would eat a slug?
No, those dogs, who knows if they could ever safely go to Australia and not be eaten before they had a chance to eat something that would poison
Yeah, I don't
them.
think anyone can go to Australia
Yeah.
safely. Go to Australia.
There'd be a dude already pointing, like towards you, but past you. Like the moment you'd walk up with such a morsel as those dogs, just immediately, go back, turn. Unless those are dogs to feed our pets here. Unless those are for our dogs to eat.
You want to stream on Radio Vegas?
Oh, it says it's doing it. Is it not doing it?
You're on Philly Rock.
That's weird. It says Radio Vegas Rocks. Let me just restart it. Oh, okay. It looks like we're streaming to Philadelphia instead.
What up, Philly?
That's weird because it's not set to Philly, but it might be showing it wrong. Anyhow, gotta stream on as many things as we can. Good looking out. I was like, oh no, Jay heard us talking shit on his dogs. No, I'm just kidding. We never would though. They're snuggly
Yeah, totally.
and jelly.
Right.
They're not like your cats though, those dignified citizens. Do you know how your cats voted? Did your cats vote this year?
They protest voted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the way.
Yeah. I mean, it's a choice.
Even if all votes are protest votes at this point, at least it means voting's happening. Oh, so on that note. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of election news. Hopefully you guys voted. If not, do it next time.
Were you guys, let us know in the comments if you were one of the ones that voted for the dead pimp.
Yeah.
Because there's a pimp that died.
But he still got elected.
Yeah.
And that could just be part of that, I think, is that there's just so much like news on a national level that since it was local, it probably just kind of got like swept under the radar of just the other barrage of election news, you know?
Do you think these were people that were excited to vote for him and didn't know that he died, or people that were just having fun, or like wanted to vote for the same principles, dead or not?
A little of both.
Also, we never found out like what happens when you elect a dead pimp. So tune into our next show where we discuss what the aftermath of that's going to be. But at this point, we don't know, and you're welcome to comment in like what occurs when that happens.
I think they just like raise them from the dead with some voodoo, like Weekend at Bernie style.
No, Josh literally mentioned in the comments "Weekend at Bernie's."
Yeah,
what's going to happen.
He knows what's up.
But that seems too similar to our living politicians today, right?
Right?
Popping it up.
Oh man, that's what. Like, I'm glad. Like, there were a lot of, as one of your notes here, a lot of historic firsts in this election. A lot of
Yeah.
young women were elected to.
And also first for certain minorities. It's the first time we've had
Yeah.
two Muslims at the same time, or is it just two female Muslims?
Yeah,
Is
I
a
think
total
that's it.
record for the House, is it? And I think we have like just a female majority in the House now, like 51% or something. I might be mixing this up.
No.
Oh,
way.
no, it's 51% of governors.
Oh, okay.
Something crazy like that.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
a
yeah.
female majority in some section of government now, which is great because females, as far as human beings go, get into fistfights less often. And I think that alone is a sign of more level-headedness.
Yeah, I'm just tired of like really, really old people like running things. Like,
Yeah.
imagine your like great grandparents like running things that they're still alive, like all old and frail and like talking about crazy shit. Like, I would not want that. Like, just they don't like deserve to lead people by virtue of being older. Like,
No.
shit's way different now, and y'all haven't kept up. Like, fucking step aside.
There's whole methods of communication that are generation dependent now, to where there's like a clear line you see in your contacts of who's an age where they text and who's in an age where they still prefer phone calls with things. Now, granted, there's also this gray area where there's a lot of movers and shakers in business that will always lean towards text, even though they're older, for certain things that text is better for.
Yeah.
But there's still something about holding on to phone calls too much, when to me a phone call is like an interruption. Like, it feels like a rude thing to
It's
do.
an invasion.
Like, you're just going to call me and not even get my permission to interrupt what I'm doing first, which implies that there's another method of communication to give me some kind of heads up that we can like see what's going on with each other before
Yeah.
we engage in this locked in communication session.
Yeah, so, and I hope that more young people run and get elected. Like, why not?
Oh yeah, there's records for age too.
Yeah.
Seriously though, I it's the old people running stuff where I feel too old for making some of the decisions that need to be decided on for like what future is actually going to be seen beyond my ass.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that, like, just because you've had the job forever doesn't mean you're actually good at it or that you know what the fuck is going on. I mean, you just have that job because usually when, especially like congressmen, like when you get in there and you're an incumbent congressman, you don't like get not elected very often, you know?
Yeah, meanwhile, people can't even keep the same job for 5 years anymore.
Right.
The whole deal of people having a career that spans their life, but all for the same company, is practically non-existent.
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't get real raises anymore. The only way you get a raise is by moving to another company.
Yeah.
So, anyway, other political news. This is
Other political news.
which it's hard to top some historic firsts, but our good old buddy Jeff Sessions,
Yeah, he's
has
gone.
resigned.
Hell yeah.
quote unquote, resigned, forcibly resigned.
How delicious.
Yeah.
As much as I don't like there being, I mean, back to one more thing with all the firsts. But there's like, as much as I don't want like religious and theological discussions that are so debatable and not concrete being involved in like the politics or ideologies of people voted, I have to say it's awesome that there's more Muslims in the government when that's the most popular religion in the world.
Yeah.
And have us become more of a world country and less of our weird traditions and how niche Christianity actually is for being something a lot of us has been raised as a mainstream, when it's like far from the mainstream in the world. And back to Jeff Sessions, that was another issue that I had with him, is the fact that he could justify his own moves and policies with marijuana as if there's some like religious guidance to any decisions he's making, and like blaming the Lord or whatever for policies that he had that are really conflicts of interest and invested things. And even if it's not, even if he's not payola and it's really just this like true doctrine he's got in his head, that's even creepier, because it's relinquishing control to the subconscious or some minister or something. And
The minister of the mind.
yeah, it's deciding, oh, I'm going to just not use my logic to process this because it's in this category of faith.
Yeah, I'm tired of that too. But there was this great Onion article headline, and it was "Inconsolable Jeff Sessions tries to commit suicide by smoking a joint." And I had a picture of him, lighting up a doobie. It was great.
He's going to OD. Stop him.
Right.
It's not worth it, Jeff.
No, the dude's totally payola. He hella owns stock in private prison companies and shit.
Oh, yeah, I forgot how much money he was making on locking up people for being
Yeah.
these bad people.
Of course he wants to lock people up for something stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, good old Keebler.
You take your chemotherapy like a man. Have this weed making it easy for you to get over your cancer and
Yeah,
stuff.
get some real medicine
That's
like
pussy
Oxycontin.
shit. Yeah. You need to oxy that
Or
cancer away.
fentanyl.
Yeah.
Or there's like a new approved one that's like stronger than fentanyl.
Yeah. That
Like-
one has, honestly, I looked more into that. It's probably not going to get, watch, I'm going to be so wrong about this, but there's so many restrictions on it and how it's used and its use cases that I don't see it getting into the black market unless it's manufactured overseas. Because fentanyl's in the black market like crazy, even though it's for that kind of purpose. And all drugs of its strength are highly regulated in the US. It's just so easy to get it over from China.
Yeah.
It's all smuggling from China that's getting there. And so, of course, because China's not in Mexico, we totally don't care about drugs going that direction at all. We're trying to
Yeah.
get all these imaginary Mexican immigrant drugs, like Mexico's making fentanyl when it's a Chinese invention.
Yeah,
Not that I'm
well,
hating China, but come on.
Yeah, and the fact that like it's so much stronger, so you don't need to transport like tons and tons of it
No.
over here.
You can just put a sheet of it in the back of a CD case. You can transfer it as powder. It can be like potting soil mix. I've got tons of ideas on this. You can send, put coffee bag. There's just a million ways you can send matcha green tea that's really fentanyl. Getting a powder from China.
Yeah,
the
come on.
tea capital of the world.
Come on.
Yeah, not a problem. Especially like justifying large financial quantities, like money for it through customs in that like matcha green tea kind of pocket where it's already boutique and would be packaged similarly. Yeah. You ever tried to get that good matcha, like in the back of the convenience store that has a name you can't pronounce?
No.
And like they take you back. It's like this metal bag. It looks like you're buying a video card, and they put it in your hand, but they like take it back out if you're not like serious. Like it's probably not even legal to sell that kind of matcha. It was probably fentanyl. I was probably looking at fentanyl. Didn't realize it.
You're like, hey, do you have any of that good matcha?
Yeah, I was doing that, and I was probably being offered something that wasn't even that. I probably was buying heroin, didn't realize it. It was just too much money, so I backed off, and they're like all shifty-eyed about it and stuff.
Right. You're still like, damn, like 3,000 for an ounce of matcha is pretty expensive. I mean, I know it's the good matcha.
It was really expensive too. I don't know what the deal was. I almost bought something crazy.
Oh man, that's
It was
hilarious.
probably anthrax. I almost like, what do you call it? Terroristed myself. I almost self-terroristed.
Terrorized.
Oh yeah, terrorized.
Self-terrorized yourself.
Dude. Word.
I love it.
Turned into a meow. All right, we're having a good episode. I'm declaring good episode.
Yeah.
This is a good one so far. Good job, you guys. Welcome.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
All right, you'll have to break this one down for me.
Gladly.
About the CIA or CIA didn't have basic bot protection.
Yeah,
People were caught and executed.
this is really tragic and should be news like up there just below the Khashoggi thing, which is awesome for free speech and journalism that was as big a news as it was. But countries have spies, and that's an important job too. And I'd love to live in a world with so much peace that we weren't espionaging each other. But there's a death penalty in the United States. Like, it's a capital crime to reveal information to a foreign government that leads to compromising any of our spies.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there was a system in place for overseas spies to report back to the United States this is Iran, right? Iran?
Yes.
That was just a web page that they just hoped Iran wouldn't find, and that these spies would report to it. They just go to this page that only they knew the URL. Meanwhile, the opposite government, in this case Iran, was able to find these sites just crawling. They used Google search, and Google search was able to crawl and find these spots and index them, and a ton of people were executed.
Damn.
Like, not just American citizens executed, like people that we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars training as spies, people that have like a legit cash value and government investment of our tax dollars. Not that that's the biggest infuriation.
No.
But also, these are lives that we let go. If these were like soldiers, like, these are more expensive than soldiers. These are like, and soldier lives are like, they matter, yeah. But these are like spy lives, and
Spy lives matter.
a bunch of them got executed. A bunch of our spies were executed just because we were that sloppy to put info on them on a page that was indexable, which is like 101. Like web design. I learned that like in 2004, how to make a page not get crawled by bots.
Well, clearly, it's Google's fault for being too good
Yeah.
at crawling. It's too much of a creepy crawler.
Don't be evil, my ass.
Right. Man, that's pretty crazy.
I mean, maybe it's gonna get more traction, but
Probably not.
I can't believe that I bumped into that, hid that, and I was like, wow, this is gonna unfold early in the week. The rest of the week went by, not another peep about it. Like, whoa, that's legit, because it's like, man, that's majorly sloppy on our part, like straight up deaths.
Yeah, that's what's so crazy to me about the media lately, especially not like lately in the last like week, but in the last couple of years, it's just so, man, it's just so like 24-hour, like what's the biggest thing it just seems to a level that's insane to me right now. There's so much shit happening, but you don't hear about it.
A lot of it's a feedback loop too.
Yeah.
That I feel like there's an American public that heard news about that and just kind of scrolled past, like, oh, spies, that's too complicated. Oh,
Yeah.
spies die, that sucks. Oh, our government, yeah. I know when I go to the DMV website, it looks like it was made in 2004. So I think it's like copyright 2006, like when you go to the My DMV here.
Oh, man.
Which is awesome. It's really cool that we're spoiled enough to register our car online, but it is with a system from at least a decade ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even, it uses a third of the width of the monitor.
God, fucking kill me.
Giant empty space on
I
either
hate-
side. It'll squinting to look at it. Little tiny text.
Right.
Dark blue on light blue. Was this made on a Commodore 64 with this color
man.
scheme?
Yeah, it was. Crazy. I
All
don't
those
know.
white
I'm just-
pixely dots around all the transparencies, GIFs with transparencies. Little GIF of a car.
Yeah, and then now you can't joke about like blow up the media.
Well, we can't because we're the media now.
Oh yeah, are we? Are we?
No, this is such media, you guys. Tell your friends.
Or we're like the media,
Yeah, we're hella media, it turns out. We're dark media.
the meta media.
We're media on our media, but we pretty much cover the media.
Yeah, exactly. We report on the media.
It's like TMZRL.
Oh man.
That's That's the 90s kid thing to say. Shout out
Right.
to the 90s, everybody. On that note,
Yeah, let's go back to the 90s. Things were so much simpler.
Josh brought up Zombie Reagan.
Zombie Reagan.
Gary Mike said, hey, what's up?
Yo, what
Or-
up, Gary Mike?
Actually, he just joined. He didn't literally say, I'm just shouting out
Well,
people
then never
that-
mind.
That's kind of cheap to shout out people that didn't even comment. I just saw that they joined. It's like, oh no, they're
I
going to
know,
get
but
spooked
I know-
out and run away.
I know he'll eventually say, hey,
Yeah.
what's up?
But now it's prompted and it's not the same.
Yeah. Now he's like obligated to say it, and it's not genuine.
Dude, on any given episode, you guys can tune in and be one of the 3 or 4 people we talk about during the episode. Welcome in.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, okay, get ready. Hold on. I'm sorry. All right, continue.
I don't know if I want to now. Pyongyang International Film Fest.
Oh, yeah, just for fun, I just put that in there to fuck with you, basically. I don't have much to say about it except that exists.
Yeah.
Like, there's a Pyongyang International Film Fest. If you're not tripping on this, that's the capital of North Korea. North
Yeah.
Korea having an international film fest. It's just like layers of crazy. And like going through the website is like, when you send one person out of a country to learn graphic design, web design, and bring just that one person back and say, like, do your take on what you learned about the West, but for us. But then this other bureaucracy of people makes a bunch of silly, like, either doesn't look at it or is like, duh. It's fun. It's suspiciously fakey.
Yeah.
Like, how is this International Film Fest is not going to look like this? And you scroll down, you look at the films, and they all look like they were made in the 70s. So it's just like when you see a WordPress template that's like, oh, this is a nice, crisp, modern WordPress template. And you scroll through the content, and the content's like 30 years old. It's that feeling. So
Yeah,
check out Pyongyang International Film Fest.
You guys got to check this out. Go to PyongyangInternationalFilmFestival.com.
The
Yeah.
longest URL we can get for it.
Submit. Yeah, how to submit your film, how to visit the festival. You're not allowed to do that.
Meanwhile, did you see like all the films? They're like they look like kung fu movies from the 70s and shit.
Oh yeah, these are rad. Oh,
Everyone's
man.
wearing like formal garb.
Yeah. Oh, the ceremony. Oh man, this is really nice, you guys.
Of all things to bump into on the internet, it just make you
Right.
think, wow, the world's interesting.
These are kung fu movies from the 70s.
Right? Isn't that just like a total trip? Pyongyang International Film Fest, you guys.
Dude, you got okay.
That's all.
Even better, you guys have. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a contact, and it just says questions. We should ask them some questions.
Right? Like, this is the natural conclusion of nationalism, you guys. This could be America if we continue all this nationalism, closed border, trade sanction situation. The whole rest of the world is going to be watching Transformers and eating Dippin' Dots while we keep rehashing crappy versions of just Kill Bill over and over again. Or just like make Fargo 2. And that we'll just be stuck in the past like this baloney. And other countries will go to our International Film Festival website and just laugh at us that we stayed in this silly nationalistic bubble wearing our red hats and not to discriminate against people with red hats. There's some really fashionable red hats out there.
Yeah, totally.
And you know, believe whatever you want. Some nationalistic ideas I actually subscribe to. I don't think it's entirely black and white. But when you go to the natural conclusion of, hey, we're the best, instead of, hey, I like us the best, it's cool to be proud and say, go team for your country and try to make your country the best. But just assume that it's intrinsically the best when there's obviously things to be learned about other countries that take care of the health needs of their citizens, for example. Like this pre-existing medical condition thing, like that's a new thing being brought up on the right when it's something the left has always advocated for.
Yeah.
Now the right's going to bring it up as if they're fighting the left on it.
Yeah, and not to mention like it. Republican Congress literally tried to like repeal Obamacare like 50 times and cost the taxpayers tens of millions of dollars. There's
Yeah.
some in the range of like $60 million or something, like through Obama's whole presidency.
And just so our right-leaning buddies listening in, love you to death, get a little nugget there. I fully acknowledge that there's a policy and a tendency in the left to overspend and maybe be irrational on the cost of social needs, but there's a middle ground and social needs need to be met because we're seeing right-leaning people get older and say, hey, now this affects me. Now I have these pre-existing medical conditions and now my selfish ass cares. And if that's an inevitability, then obviously there's a middle all along.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, we're already paying for people's health care anyway, like emergency room visits and stuff like that, and it's way more expensive than if we just paid for it up front and did preventative care. It would actually be cheaper in the long run.
There'd be way less middlemen. Even
Yeah.
if a huge part of our taxes went to everyone else's healthcare, it'd be way better than a huge part of our current medical insurance bills going to everyone else's healthcare because it's a greater sum.
Yeah, and like the ACA was, it did some good things, but it's not like great by any means. And I don't think you'll hear people saying it's like the end all be all. I mean, it was a step in the right direction, but there's vast improvements to be made. But you guys, I want help. All right, I need help on this. I'm going to send the Pyongyang International Film Festival an email,
Yeah.
and we're going to get your input. So comment if you want to contribute to the question. I'm sending. My name is going to be Hubert Humphrey.
Yeah, so look out for the responses to Hubert Humphreys.
I'm using my actual email, and I will share it. If I get a response, I'll share it next episode.
Yeah, tune in for an ongoing thing we're doing. And it's,
So yeah,
we're going to touch North Korea directly.
I think this is a new segment, man. I think I want to do this like every week. I just
Follow up on the Pyongyang International Film Festival. What if we make a film that's just like bad enough that they can herald it as like, look at this humble entry from those pitiful Americans and how badly it stacks up compared to our superior filmography of our citizens.
Yeah.
They just use us as like,
just laugh.
yeah. Because they do that. They'll grab the worst things of America and put that in their media.
Yeah. I'm gonna misspell hello. HELO. And I'm gonna stew on it for a while. If you guys have any ideas, feel free to contribute those.
Yeah.
We'll make a whole mishmash of an email to the Pyongyang International Film Festival.
Oh, man.
That makes me feel really happy. I love it.
I knew it'd at least be a trip.
Yeah, it's great. You guys really got to go check it out. Where did I want to go next? Mexico.
Yeah, I like how we're stringing them.
Yeah, so this article came out, and I swear we've known this for like forever. They found evidence of how the pyramids were built, like solid evidence, and it's exactly the same way that I've heard. That's how we thought the pyramids were built for like the last 15 or 20 years or whatever.
Or rather than evidence, don't we have like something written basically?
Yeah, something like that.
It's like hieroglyphics that we definitely know mean that they like an instruction manual basically.
Yeah,
I'm interpreting it as
that they used ramps and hoists and
wet the dirt. That was something more recent actually.
yeah, we didn't know that part, but the overall general concept seems the same.
It turns out the dirt in that area, if you get it the right amount of wet, is really slippery for a large object. So it takes way less people. So they'd make tracks of that. And that has replaced more recently the idea of using rollers that we were taught in school that they probably did.
I guess that's the part that's.
But the
different.
ramps and rope is big too. So we found basically like a written guide on doing it. I can't wait till. I mean, it's kind of weird that it takes that. Because, that, like you said, that was already pretty much what we thought happened, but it took like a written, hey, this is what we did, to confirm it this much. I'm wondering if it's going to take that to confirm the assumptions that are currently with the purpose of the pyramid, that it seems like way too much work that people voluntarily did as a job to be just a tomb. That these people did so many other things that were advanced and civilized and made more sense than to use that many resources for just a tomb. But when they've studied how water retreats in a river and can cause an electric what's the word when there's more on one side than the other? An imbalance. So when you have an imbalance of the quantity of electrons, just like water gets wicked into a toilet, like toilet paper, when you dip it and water wicks upwards, defying gravity, it's being pulled by a lack of a concentration. So that happens with electrons, and that's how static electricity works. But you can do that with flowing water pulling electrons. And with the metals that they coated the pyramids in, newer pyramids, they experimented with more exotic, more expensive metals that did the job better. Of what is the theory that it was like a giant street light. You could light up the whole city at night and have commerce and nighttime stuff like cities were able to have at the turn of the century with industrialization. And the invention of the streetlight was actually huge for society and the amount of production that could get done. So as simple as the concept of the streetlight is, if the pyramids are glowing all night and it's like an artificial moon, that's great. And there's
Rave City, baby.
Yeah, there's resonant chambers that a lot of people believe did therapeutic things with sound. I find that really interesting, but the resonant chambers could also affect capacitance and how they function as, there's an electrical term, I want to say inductor, but there's a better term that's in the inductor family that they're functioning as. Condenser. Basically like a big electronic condenser where electrons condense, and then with you get like a static discharge of the air ionizing. So like I totally have legit fancy terms about this. With what I have in my shirt pocket as far as electrical engineering, it's all plausible. But that sound stuff is interesting too. So there's still some great mysteries with those fellas, but that have like cool sciencey answers.
I'm waiting until we're gonna find some evidence that aliens taught them how to do this technique.
But the thing is, just taking that super seriously, aliens you'd think would skip some steps and teach them something like better. Like you'd think aliens would have taught them, like, look, you can make a little bit better metal and arrange the metal in this pattern, and boom, combustion engine. Because their metallurgy was like not that far behind what you'd need to make a combustion engine.
See, but I think we're assuming that the aliens like want to teach them things.
Oh yeah, I got you. They're just grudging. They're like, they're just take like, this garbage.
They're like, oh, watch this, guys, watch this. They're like, yeah, if you guys do this, you can build giant buildings that'll light up the city. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Trust us. We built these flying machines. Yeah, we don't have to obey the laws of gravity. But yeah, you just got a bunch of people and some ropes, a little water.
Yeah,
you guys are all right.
I just picture the laziest aliens grudgingly giving them the most half-assed solution to their problems. Like all right, this will get it done. Leave us alone now.
I just picture them as like prank bros. They're like, watch this guy. I'm gonna get him to build one of these.
Look,
pyramids.
they made 3 of them already, and they line up with these stars. Like that matters. It's so silly. They line up right with Orion's belt. Like like that's a belt of anything. It's just 3 stars.
Yeah.
One of them's a little off just to fuck with them.
Right. I wonder if I mean it makes me believe that aliens taught someone astrology. Yeah. They're like, yeah, totally. When this planet, when it goes like this, that means, bad shit's happening, but only to some people.
Gave him all these superstitions.
Right.
I look at things like the fact that the Giza pyramids line up with Orion's belt and just assume, what the fuck else did they have to look at?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's in the sky all the time. It's shaped like that. Then it's just a bunch of plants and like a river. Yeah, what else is it going to line up with?
Yeah, because we just naturally spot patterns and want to apply significance to it. So,
totally.
Nothing is significant.
We've all looked at it enough to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I can find it easier than them stupid dippers.
We've seen men in black.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was good. I'm happy about talking. I love talking about some Egypt knowledge. Hey, impress your kids, impress your friends, impress your friends' kids. Totally get ready to impress all your friends' kids. Gather them around.
Tell them that the pyramids aren't even real. It's a Chinese hoax.
Oh man. Speaking of Chinese hoaxes, I don't have a segue for that. It just seems like we might.
Christmas.
Oh, hey, we're talking about space, right?
Yeah,
space, dude.
Yeah, there's more space news.
The asteroid Bennu is about to have a probe of ours land on it. It's orbiting it right now. This is just a couple days ago. I think we got to it. This is a trip because this is a particularly close asteroid coming to us.
Yeah.
Some people have thought some cults might worship it or something, but I think we're kind of past that.
Hopefully.
But, yeah, I hope so. Because we've sent a probe to go look at it, talk about worshiping it. But this probe's actually going to land on this moving asteroid in space. That's incredible engineering.
Yeah.
To find something that small and then go land on it is like, whoa.
I wonder how long ago they had to start planning for that.
Yeah, good question. I heard about plans for at least a year ago.
Yeah.
It's got like longer than that.
Yeah,
and how they
definitely.
know? How long did they even know this thing was coming for to prepare for it? That's even crazier.
Yeah. Because, I don't know, planning to, the logistics to land a tiny thing on an asteroid way out in space when it gets to a certain place seems kind of complicated.
So much so, I think I would fail the first time. I
Yeah.
tried to do that.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you're trying to do something that...
They sent
that
one of them.
Yeah. Like, we have to get this on the first go, guys.
It seems about as much harder than landing on the moon as the amount of time since we've landed on the moon. Like, it's been this long since we landed on the moon, supposedly. We should be able to do something this amount of time more advanced. Like, computers have gotten this much more advanced. I think this landing is that much more advanced. Like, a moon, we're going to land on this tiny asteroid.
Yeah.
Seems like, okay, that's an appropriate amount of progress. I'm content with that, finally.
Right.
Because for a minute, I was like, we're not landing on anything in space.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
What's up with that?
It made it kind of feel kind of fakey. I'm kind of like, why we just get this little Kubrick thing happening? And then, but no, it makes it seem a lot more likely that we've really landed on the moon, given that we're confidently, like Japan, even without us, no problem. Japan's just doing it, landing 2 probes on Mercury soon.
Yeah,
that
that's gonna
seems
be hard.
way harder than any
Yeah.
of it. Right by the sun, we're gonna land on that shit. One's landing on it, one's orbiting it.
Yeah.
Both of them are Japanese.
Man.
That's right.
What are
Way to
we
one
doing?
up us. Yeah. Well, we're doing Bennu. I think that's ours.
No.
It's called Osiris Rex, is the name of the probe. No, that's cool. It's Egyptian. Back to it's an Egyptian probe.
It's an Egyptian dinosaur.
Oh yeah.
The Rex part throws me off. Like, they could have just like Osiris.
Regolith Explorer is what the Rex stands for.
Oh, okay.
And to use the word regolith for this thing, another clap for that. I like that shit.
I mean, you don't have to.
Regolith.
You don't have to use all the fucking words. Just call it Osiris. Like, no one cares what it is. Like, we know it's a thing that's gonna go explore and land on shit. We get it.
There's too many other Osirises though. This one's the Regolith Explorer. I want a regolith. What would you do with your own regolith explorer?
That's a great question.
Any regolith you can explore.
I'd go find the iciest asteroid and have it harvest me some ice, and I'll have it. When I get it, I'm gonna make me a nice space gin and tonic.
Yeah, go
That's it.
harvest one of the most rare things, some ice. Go get some of the ice.
But it's space ice. That's still in space.
Dude,
Came directly from space.
speaking of space water, though, it turns out all these planets we've been discovering, thanks largely in part to Kepler, rest in peace, the recently finally deceased, went way past its long mission, planet discoverer probe Kepler.
Yeah.
5,000 planets it's found since 2009. Supposedly, almost all of them are this one really common size range of planet that's not really found in our solar system, but seems to be really common in a bunch of the other ones in our galaxy. That's kind of between Neptune and our size. It's not as gas gianty as Neptune, but Neptune is more of like a water. It's not as gas gianty as Saturn and Jupiter. It's more of like a water giant, but pushing the gas giant territory, but like a little bit smaller, and you're more of a water giant. So most of these are these water giant kind of planets that whole surface is water. Kudos to you for finding this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was your note on this? Call Kevin Costner?
Yeah, someone called Kevin Costner. He's been waiting for the
Yeah.
Waterworld sequel for his entire life.
Literal water worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're big though, and unfortunately the water is like 300 and change degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh.
So it's a little boily, and the atmosphere is really thick and hard to breathe because it's basically steam.
Oh.
But we can work with that. That's something.
Yeah.
That's better than Venus.
Yeah. Steam planet.
Back to something on Venus. I have to mention this every time to all your friends. We really should be considering moving to Venus before Mars. I think that all this effort to colonize Mars is valuable because we need some spare people in case there's issues with Earth. But nonetheless, it's kind of surfacist. It's kind of like a discrimination against living without a surface, because the surface of Venus is worthless.
Yeah.
There's way too much air pressure. But when you have crazy air pressure that's greater than ocean pressure, I mean, we can live on the surface of the water. That's a surface, but it's a liquid surface. So if we treat the thick-ass atmosphere of Venus like a liquid surface, which it basically is borderline when you've got a gas that's that thick, and we floated on a boundary layer between two gases, it'd be just like floating on the ocean. So we could live on basically things like ships or even more stable like barges on Venus and be able to get tons of high volatility matter to use as fuel just out of the gases that we're floating on and in on Venus. It's way easier than trying to extract water from the dust on Mars. It's tricky.
Yeah.
We can condense water out of the vapors in Venus. There's at least plenty of hydrogen and oxygen. We can recombine the water there like crazy. And if there's hydrogen available, you can make anything out of that. It's the base molecule of everything. It's like molecule number one, hydrogen. Literally.
You're number one guy.
There we go. Wait, no, these are two suspended. Molecule number one. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. That's that space.
Yeah, that sounds like molecule number one.
Right,
sound.
molecule number one.
I can get behind that. Oh, yeah, I did. All right. You have to break this one down. Mower protest.
This is so great. These couple of dudes, they mowed 4 characters, giant characters, so they couldn't be missed, into the grass at the approach pattern of Trump's jet. And what were the 4 characters again? 2 of them were the numbers of his presidency. Was it 45?
Yeah, 45.
And what were the first 2? This is a fun game we're playing. It's like, isn't it like FU 45 or something?
Oh, yeah, I think that was it.
I think it was FU 45.
Yeah.
It just, I love that it's like leet speak too. Yeah.
7EET. Yeah, Montana man mow FU45 in large field.
There's not the most to say about it, but I have to bring it up to enjoy.
Yeah, no, it's pretty great.
Ooh.
What the?
Sorry about that.
I just wonder if these dudes are like farmers and they're pissed off. Are they like soybean farmers?
Yes. I think. I got aggro with that stinger. I like froze it a sec.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
doing
know.
that.
All kinds of...
You're looking for more dirt in that
People-
one? I think that's the deal with it.
Yeah, no. There's more. When Trump visited Missoula, which that's where my brother lives, actually, Missoula.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to the next president.
Yeah. People in town added a peach to the university's M for M Peach.
Oh.
Others turned the...
So there's more that happened in Missoula besides the FU-45?
Yeah, others turned the L on Mount Jumbo into liar with large fabric letters.
So he was just greeted by all kinds of
Oh
shame.
man, they don't like him there. That's funny. M Peach.
It's funny to think about how he might not even be the most hated president. And
Yeah.
like how hated like Lincoln was, or what's the Alexander Hamilton? Or was he not a president? The Hamilton Burr thing, that was a thing. They just dueled. I'm the last person should bring up that shit. I guarantee the majority of you listening know more about that than I. But still, hey, on that, speaking of people listening, Josh has already got an idea remotely for the Pyongyang Film Fest. First, we find the genre that our dear leader prefers.
Oh yeah.
We make a short film about the love story of a North Korea family and a half-eaten piece of tree bark. You want the family to have a buzz cut and win a Kimmy every time. They're called Kimmies. Oh man,
Dude, I love that plot. That is so...
we're gonna get a Kimmy.
Oh my goodness, that is great.
The Ward being a Kimmy has just made my day. Whether or not that's true.
I wonder if it's like a requirement, or like if everyone's trying to win a Kimmy, if like they have to include Kim Jong Un as the main character, and he always wins everything. He's always the hero of the film.
Oh man, he at least gives him producer credit. At least gotta throw him a bone on that producer credit.
Right.
Yeah.
All ideas developed by Kim Jong Un. All ideas for all films.
All wisdom and truth flows from the origin of the single river. Height of spirituality and giving to one another comes within a funnel that is the fulcrum of our nation's arm.
Of our Kimness.
The strong arm of our forefathers and their legacy. I feel like I could write copy for North Korea like way good. I think I've got like commie copy.
Yeah, probably.
Look me up commie copy on Fiverr.
Well, I'm sure it's all like just, Dear Leader is amazing and all that,
There's always arms. There's always the arm of this and like raising arms against this and something about arms. Like strong arms and fields. There's always fields and there's always plowing.
Wow.
Somewhere there's like a weird old timey term for like a reaper or a plowshare or furrows. There's furrows sometimes.
I love it.
It's always a plowshare.
Oh, I have to drop this one. This was
Drop it.
this one. So this congressional race in Virginia. This woman, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I gotta look it up now. But anyway, she's running against this dude, Martha Cockburn, something like that.
Cockburn. I saw her ads. Yeah.
Cockburn. Good old Cockburn. But anyway, she's running against this dude, Denver Riggleman. Right, so she drops this tweet, and it says, Denver Riggleman was seen protesting with a white supremacist. Right, and that would be bad enough, right?
Yeah, you don't want someone that's a white supremacist sympathizer.
Yeah, so, and she also included, and he also wrote a book about Bigfoot erotica or something, right?
That's cool.
And it wasn't really that. It was like some weird.
That humanizes this gentleman.
Yeah, and like I think that just took it over. It should have been like one or the other,
Yeah.
or like separate things.
Take it too far.
Yeah, like you're trying to
Now you're making us like him again.
Yeah. Bigfoot erotica.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
I didn't know there was such a thing, but I'm gonna check it out.
Some
now.
people are hairy.
That guy's all right.
Well, I was thinking a lady Bigfoot. It's all fuzzy in the forest. I'll take a fuzzy lady.
Oh man.
Shout out to fuzzy ladies. Holla in the comments if you're a lady that's covered in fuzz, because it's not bad. I ain't hating. I ain't kicking fuzzball out of bed.
I don't know. It's ridiculous. Like that's the level of politics we have.
It's a feminine fur.
Just he's a Bigfoot eroticist. Get him.
Get him.
I don't want no Bigfoot eroticist deciding when my kids are going to be learning it.
That term, this whole show was worth it for the term Bigfoot eroticist. You are welcome. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's what we do.
Yeah. Grab your fuzzy ladies.
I love it. I think it's about time.
What's next up? I'm so happy about this news pace today. 'Cause
Yeah.
we had like 3 pages of these.
Yeah. Oh man, I got something in my eye. I'm dying.
But doing them in a good order. Oh, I'm putting no effort into pulling these up too. I just totally dumped all of the notes.
No,
over on
yeah.
it.
Sometimes you get like residual sweat in your eye. Sometimes.
Oh, dude, shit's sneaky.
Oh man.
You had like full on burrito dangling from your glasses earlier.
I probably got like jalapeno juice in my eye now. Oh man.
Oh yeah, it's probably like coming out of your pores and then working its way back in your eye.
Oh man, I made like such a huge mistake.
Oh dude,
With
this
my
reminds me of Port Smash. Port Smash in tech news is a new exploit for all you folks with multi-threaded processors, which is all of us. All of our
everyone.
processors are hyper-threaded right now. AMD doesn't call it hyper-threading, but it's speculated this is going to affect their multi-threading situation too. In a nutshell, all multi-threading is one core. Say you've got a dual-core CPU or like a 4-core CPU, but you look in Windows and you see, oh, I've got twice as many cores. So I've got this dual-core CPU, but I see 4 cores. That's hyper-threading in action, or multi-threading for AMD stuff. Each core can simulate being 2 cores.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the issue. When you've got both cores, or one core pretending to be 2 core, the work that core is doing is going to affect how much power it consumes. This is just one flavor of this exploit. There's other evidence. But say it's doing a certain task, and there's a pattern of the power consumption it takes that matches that task. Well, it's been found that if this task is something really familiar, like, say, encrypting something or decrypting something, the other logical core, the other thread, which thread is a weird term for picturing a spare core, but it's what it is. So this other thread can sense that pattern and power change, or more accurately, in the case of this exploit, like a better way to look at it is a fluctuation in resource use. And there's this pattern of the available resources changing due to what this other thing is doing, that it can then, within a few guesses, figure out what was being decrypted then. And what's spookier yet is it's only like 17 milliseconds or something before it gets that and figures out its first set of guesses. And then it guessed for like 10 minutes or so, and then it got it. It got into something that it shouldn't have had visibility to. So this is something that doesn't happen a whole lot in the software that you and I use. So we're not likely to bump into this port smash exploit. And it might sound familiar to other crosstalk between cores or threads exploits that we talked about before, especially in that it's really going to affect server farms and companies that depend on large server infrastructure. For example, something like Facebook, their servers might all have to work at half capacity to plug this exploit, because all of a sudden you can only use threads separated in their own individual cores, or they're going to reveal data to each other. But this is something that can be fixed on the OS level. And firms like something bigger like Facebook, Google, Amazon, they're so bare metal with their OS that also gives them less susceptibility to this. But say you're running like a Microsoft server, which, why are you doing that? But say you are, the whole OS needs to be completely updated from like kernel level to add a new mode, basically, where a piece of software can raise its hand and say, hey, yo, I'm doing something encrypty. Can I just have this core to myself instead of just this thread? And then the OS will be like, yeah, sure, it's your core. I'm not going to put anything else, let anyone else run on this thread next to you.
Wow.
Also, there's even a flawedness to the chips internally, to where there's like crosstalk between things. Like we're getting down to the smallest processes to not have crosstalk, and electrons just flow through quantum tunneling over to pathways that they're not supposed to. At the 7 nanometer process we're at right now. When like 5 nanometers, you get to that point and you're basically got like a handful of atoms in between. So for that not to affect another process even in the next door core is iffy for some things. Like that's what we're looking at right now, is chatter inside the chip revealing things. So it's some spooky witchcrafty exploity time. I don't know, it gives me those, like the first Mission Impossible movie where they're talking about all the risk chips and stuff, and elevator crushes that dude. It just gives me that feeling. So I'm wondering if and it's otherwise the kind of news that, yeah, I know why that's not mainstream news. It's really dry, it's boring news. But I feel like this whole espionage frame of it, like what's going on inside these little things, and the spooky action at a distance of this quantum stuff. Growing up hearing all this magical quantum things that are going to happen. There's quantum effects occurring in our products today.
Yeah, that's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, quantum.
Or that people figured that
exploits.
shit out. Like, how did someone figure that out?
that they could get anything residual off of a neighboring thread.
Yeah, that's
The shit's supposed to be so isolated.
man. Y'all some smart motherfuckers out there. That's all I gotta say. Been like, man, I know. What if like my next door neighbor was like a computer? That's as far as I can go.
I love that, like, that could go further, but stopping right there is so funnier. Dude, what if this whole time I heard all these blinking sounds?
Right.
And, like, I just thought he had a lot of karaoke equipment. But it turns out there's a mainframe next door.
He gets mail, man. No, like
man.
the mailman really goes to his house.
Just drops it on a conveyor belt, and then you see it get.
He pays bills, man.
He's a computer.
I smell a sitcom.
Oh, dude. This is a juicy episode. We could form like at least 2 or 3 media enterprises off of the nuggets we've got in this episode.
Oh, man.
I swear, if this is like one of those where it's like season 10, before some of these things like really get into the zeitgeist, it's going to be so juicy and worth it. It's going to be like Sleater-Kinney. Where it's like everyone discovered Sleater-Kinney so late, but they're so good. Oh, a way better example.
I haven't discovered them.
Oh, get ready, man. It's going to be so good when you
I'm not
discover
going to.
Sleater-Kinney. A better example is Death Cab for Cutie.
Yeah,
Ben
yeah.
Gibbard's like a household name now, but Death Cab for Cutie had been touring for 10 years when I discovered them in high school, and I felt like it was super late.
Yeah.
And it was another good 4 years more before Postal Service broke out, and then Death Cab had like a resurgence in the aftermath of Postal Service.
Yeah.
And Postal Service, no one knew what the fuck that was until Iron and Wine covered one of their songs.
Oh, wow.
So this whole
I didn't know that.
yeah. It's like there's this Jose Gonzalez guy that is pretty popular now that covered this obscure like Swedish dance song like on acoustic guitar. And that led to what's now like a Sia cover of it. It's like Sia and Massive Attack covered it now. So it's like these weird chains.
Yeah.
That's a whole rabbit hole, you guys. Google that if you dare.
We're going.
But now let's bring this back down to earth. Come on, Earth chat.
Taking the red pill.
Yeah, we're gonna take the purple pill now. It's the independent pill. We're not taking a Democratic or Republic pill.
We're going black
Because like
pill.
I'm really disenfranchised with Republicans right now. Really not into them, and I don't want to turn anything I'm representing into something that partisan and like act all pro-left, especially when I grew up in an era in California where the Democratic Party just wiped out all of the budget surplus of a whole tech boom and then did it a second time until we had to
Right.
impeach our governor.
Yeah.
So, like, the Republican Party did a lot to save California from the Democrats. But boy, is that not the national view now. It just,
Yeah.
boy, is that a party looking like the rich folk party lying to the poor people while exploiting them.
Yeah.
So that's my synopsis if you want to act like you know what you're talking about in a hurry to someone that's giving you the furrowed brows. If I can help you with some opinion paint, that's the deal. But there's still some policies that I can understand some people being pretty staunch and leaning towards Republican. It's just like, boy, the party's not on anyone's side right now that can like afford to be, that's like poor enough to be our friends right now.
Yeah. Well, and like, I mean, there's got to be, we can at least like discuss things, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like come
I'm
together.
all about
like
being wrong about this.
two different, sides have like ideas, and then you kind of negotiate and come together and not just so like
Yeah.
adamant about like,
That's hey, our guest might be here. That sounds like the guest alarm.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mario Puzo though. That's someone that I no, not Mario Puzo.
yeah,
Yeah.
who's that guy?
I mix up my Marios sometimes. No, Mario Zapata. Dude, currently my favorite Mario, but he was in the talk show a couple times.
Yeah, no,
and
Mario.
one of my favorite things about him is that he leans right about as much as I lean left in really logical ways and has great arguments. So I have great discussions with him.
I totally respect that.
We've got 2 different episodes with him that get into that that concept more. But no, I think that was a false guest alarm. Anyway, doesn't matter. We've got news for a lot of time. Also, this is a fun episode in that I'm just in this weird. Hey, come in here, Liz. Come on. I was talking about how much I'm hoping the audience enjoys that I'm touching the mic way more than usual. Like if you think there's like a lot of mic noise from here, come on. If you think there's I love your coat, nice lapels. Yeah, no, what's that animal that the eyes point different ways? But you're not doing that has the 3 toes, but it like walks like
I don't even know.
takes a pause.
Three-toed sloth.
No, it's a reptile. This is getting insulting. I didn't mean to. Yeah, chameleons. How they're all. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, take the step.
I'm glad.
Yeah. Oh, let's unmute you.
Karma chameleon.
Karma chameleon.
Oh.
Karma chameleon.
I probably don't need headphones.
Nah.
We don't actually need headphones either.
We ran out of headphones
Good.
because I steal the headphone jacks for the video feeds.
Oh, that's fine. No worries.
Yeah.
No worries at all.
So
Yeah.
we're just goofing on news. Thanks so much
Yeah,
for
you got
swapping time frames to leave your awesome show to come to ours.
Yeah, well, no, mine was more. I work. I just got done with work, so that was the whole thing. But yeah, and then you'll have to come on mine for sure.
Yeah.
It's in the morning on a Sunday, so
That's why it's been difficult to arrange with my circadian rhythms.
We're usually at church.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, those. Yeah. So I have people that probably record it, so when they're at church, they can listen to me afterwards.
But your show is like better church. I'm thinking of converting.
Hey man, I do play some George Michael, Faith, and stuff like that. So I do try to get those in there. But
For reals
but
though,
yeah.
I'm trying to convert to Asian.
To whaty?
To Asian. I'm trying to racially convert. I'm
Okay.
eating more rice.
What?
Yeah, it's like a way better race to be.
All right.
So I mean, I
can
can only do so much for the looks, but if I can live more like I was raised Asian, it'd be amazing. Get better
Well,
grades.
Buddhism
and stuff.
is rad. Taoism is cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
I've been making lists. Speaking of Buddhism, hella lists.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
lists.
I'll say something to myself repetitively and
Yep.
like focus on my breathing.
Uh-huh.
I think I'm getting pretty Asian,
Okay.
like in the best ways.
I don't know what that
Right?
means. That's good.
Is that
That's
is that
weird.
like a Buddhist
super
thing?
good.
Is that a making list?
Sure
that
is.
specifically Buddhist?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I've
Real
read
extra.
about that. Yeah, like I got Buddhism for Dummies. I've got the Tao Te Ching. I've been reading those things.
Soka Gakkai is really big on lists. The SGI.
That's cool. I could dig it because then you cross it off and it's like,
But
I'm
they
done
just-
with a thing.
They just chant, for the most part, Nam Yoho Renge Kyo. But I think there's like way better shit to chant that I relate to
Yeah,
personally.
like, you know,
Like I'll chant like go time, it's go time, we're doing it, it's go time, you're doing
That's
it.
a-
You're
that-
doing
and
it.
that's a
You're driving
nice-
super good, you're paying attention, you're driving. Keep doing that, you're paying attention. Those are the things I'll chant.
that's good. I could dig it. I could dig that. Yeah, that's cool.
It's better than not paying attention, you're driving.
Yes. Yeah, so you're just hyper into what you're doing and you're chanting about it.
Yeah.
Or just repeating things in a chant-esque kind of Gregorian way.
If I narrate what I'm doing, I'll focus a lot more on it. Like if I'm like,
Yes.
okay, you're editing this thing.
Yes.
Remember, you're dropping the thing into the thing. It'll stop me from just being like, oh, hey, I thought I was Googling this other thing.
Do you
now.
say it out loud or do you do this in your
No.
mind? Oh, okay.
Saying it out loud sounds like the most cringy, embarrassing thing ever.
I was
I didn't get it.
I'm like, you're gonna be like one of those people on the bus I see all the time.
Oh man, when I'm home alone and I say anything out loud, I'm really creeped out by hearing my own voice,
Nice.
like badly.
But if you have like pets,
me
it's like you're
shudders.
talking to them. So really
Thank
it
God.
makes you less crazy.
It's what the pets are for.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I talk to Yogi all the time about things that he won't respond to me about, which, it's crazy, but
But
he's
it
a very
helps.
good listener.
Gotta
feel-
sing to the cat.
Yeah.
I feel like one of my cats. I have conversations with one of my cats.
Yes, of course.
He's very chatty, so he'll
Yep.
like talk back.
Yeah. They're like, meow. Yeah, that's
I'm
cool.
like, oh yeah, what's going on?
I like to sing them late 80s, early 90s radio hits, but with their name replaced with the lyrics. Yeah.
Same, but I do all decades. It doesn't matter. Just
Yeah.
whatever song comes into my head. You know, Mandy is a good one.
Yeah.
Yogi is my dog's name, you know. Oh, Yogi, you know, that's an easy one. But ones without names, like the Eye of the Yogi, you know what I mean? Or just like, I don't even know.
This is life tips. This is great. I love it. We're getting right into some juicy, legit, valuable nuggets you can take with you into your life.
Exactly.
You guys, plants are good for this. If you don't have any animal pets, sing into plants.
Oh, yeah. That's the shit.
So
They love
healthy.
it.
It's true.
They supposedly grow better, but at least you grow better within you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have
go
a
ahead.
bamboo. Oh, sorry. I have a bamboo plant that I've had since 2011, and that thing is like almost to the ceiling at my work.
Dang.
And everyone's like, "How do you do this?" And I'm like, "I just add water, and then I cut off the dead stuff." And they're like, "But how do you do this?" And I'm like, "I literally don't understand that question. Like, it's just a lie."
You're like, do you guys know what bamboo is?
Like,
I was gonna
it's
say
like-
it's known
it's
for
like-
growing really
I know.
fast.
It
It's
grows-
like that's
it grows,
its thing.
It grows so fast you can like watch it grow.
Right, exactly, yeah. And it's just chills, you know.
That's funny.
It's cool. But they're like, you
It
don't
just
clean the
chills.
rocks out. I'm like, no, it's just, I don't know.
Clean
if
the rocks? That's not a
I
fish.
know, but if I did, it would die. I know it.
Yeah, it
it's
needs
like
those-
cool.
it
Like
needs
we're
its
cool.
gunk on that,
yeah,
yeah.
it's happy.
No
We're
one's
all-
cleaning the rocks out
Everyone's
in the wild.
copacetic.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Oh,
yeah.
that's a great bamboo plant. How often do you change the tank?
No.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I uproot all my trees and give them new soil.
It's like
doing?
so
He likes to move a lot.
I know.
Oh, hey, do you want some box wine?
Oh my god.
You look
Sure,
so delighted.
do you have a cup?
I just used my can that I was drinking out of before.
Oh, you just used a can
so
you had?
this is not energy drink anymore.
Oh
no.
my god. I'll do a little bit of it, but I need a glass.
You can just waterfall it too.
No,
I'll
I'm
hold it
not
for
a
you.
waterfall. I'm not a waterfall
No, that's-
kind of a
that sounds
gal.
like a
I know
huge
that
mess.
he has glasses here. I know it. In my heart, I know they exist.
I'm wearing glasses, but they're very shallow.
They're very shallow, your
Yeah.
glasses.
They
Oh
don't
my god. I could put it
contain
in my
much.
hand.
Oh,
You know.
washing with it. No,
I would
there's a
have one if
solution.
there was something, but alas.
We'll fi-
Nope, not gonna do it. I'm not doing it.
I
No.
have to hold this in front of the
No.
camera longer. But
No.
shots?
We'll figure it out.
No.
It's finger clean. I fingered it clean.
That's why are you telling it? That makes it worse. Like everything you're saying is making it worse. None of that.
None of this is helping
But then you like
anything.
try to explain it with more words, and it just sounded worse.
There's paper plates. I love that it's like, check this out. We usually
it
have
really?
this stinky
Is it
beer. And we have
full?
this full lovely.
Franzia.
We have a lovely wine for you. Yeah.
Weizenblendel.
You've heard the hype, right? That this is supposedly one of the tastiest wines in blind tests.
Oh,
and it's one of the lowest
absolutely.
calories too.
Really?
Yeah, this is
It's
one of
like
the
a
healthiest
snack.
alcohols.
A
Yeah,
healthy snack.
it's one of the least unhealthy alcohols. Because
That's wonderful.
we revealed in a previous episode a couple episodes ago that a study had concluded that no amount of alcohol is not unhealthy,
Yeah.
even though like a small bit might be insignificant. And it's yeah, you know.
Oh yeah. I read it and I was like, I don't know.
I like
That could be fake.
I was
Who's
like, yeah,
paying
that's-
for that study?
was
The
like, that's
non-alcohol company? Nope.
well, you know how like Vox or Verge or something will step in and make a YouTube video, and they're like, "Well, hold on, it's not like that. It's like this and this." They still concluded that basically, it's not healthy for you to do any amount,
Right.
but like a small amount is like not
Cool.
that big of a
Not that
badness,
bad. And also cool.
Yeah, you look cooler. Did you guys know, this is a side note about liquids, but I went to Burger King today and they have Surge. Do you guys know what that is?
I remember Surge. Yeah,
Go, Surge.
Surge was like our high school, the
Surge.
beverage.
Dude!
Oh, yeah.
I told my friend and she's like, what is that? And I was like, I feel like really not excited. Like I feel lame for being excited about this.
But no, Surge
I'm
used
really
to pass my
stoked.
tests for me. I'd like Surge through midterms, man.
Right?
Yeah, Surge was like liquid
cool.
study.
Surge. I know.
So I'm
we'll
half
figure.
prepared for this.
I feel like I don't know what to do with you with the box wine in your hand. It's like,
Me neither,
what are you
clearly.
gonna do with it? Like,
Well-
are you gonna hurt someone?
What
Or
I'm going to do is I'm
like-
going to stop fiddling with the microphone and making all kinds of mic handling noises like I've done the whole episode. This episode has been like punctuated by the sounds of me grabbing the mic and just dragging it around like it's a teddy bear with me.
Mic massage.
Yeah.
So you were holding the mic like how Talladega Nights when he's like, I don't know what to do with my hand.
Petting
And you
it,
just-
massaging it, like it's like a luxury
It's
car.
strange.
I'm feeling the cracks
it's
up,
strange though.
fingerprinting it.
Yeah,
no,
the
it's
finger thing with you is weird, and also the hand thing. Maybe you
It's
should
finger
just.
day. It's such a bad word.
Like, it's so
I
bad.
can say I'm touching it.
But like,
I'm touching it a
chicken
lot.
fingers is cool.
Yeah.
But fingers, anything, but chicken fingers is weird.
What about fingers like in a clutch? That's a cool
What?
kind of finger.
I
Like in
don't
a
know
car.
Is that a finger?
There's fingers in your car.
What?
In your clutch, if you
I
have a
don't know
manual.
what that means.
Clutch fingers? I'm probably
Electronic
not even
things are
right.
cool.
No.
Anything that's not human, fingers doing something is not gross. Like,
Dude, USB chicken strips. This is a product that we were developing where there's like a single thin wire through the chicken strip,
gross.
and you plug it in USB, and the wire cooks it from the inside. You just have to pull it out. As you take a bite, you just eat around the
It's
wire.
also a kebab.
Yeah, don't eat the wire.
it
USB
sounds
chicken strips.
gross. Like, I want to like it.
That's why it's so great. Part of this is like bring our friends on the radio to have them react to our crazy ideas. It's like, I'm gonna get you on a mic. I'm gonna say really dumb stuff and just see what you do.
Like,
I love this format though, by the way.
it's nice.
But I
It's
always
cool.
I need something to fiddle with, and this time it's my wine buddy,
It's your Franzia.
Franz. It's the
Senorita
OG.
Franzia.
This was
Yes.
the brave company that decided we don't care about
They're
glass
cool.
anymore.
Yeah.
So cool.
And they were the first to be cool,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, the thing is, people are mocking like, "Oh, it's box wine. It's wine to box." So you still get it drinking your box
Yeah,
wine. They're
dude.
like- they try it like it's fucking good wine. It's
And
really
they're
yummy,
like,
actually.
shit, now I feel dumb. And like I've spent too much money on not enough product.
Dumb and thirsty. That's our next album.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of albums, you're good at those.
Yes.
Not that I'm going to interview you at all, but I do have to highly recommend your music albums that you made.
Oh, thank
Because
you
you
very
made
much.
good music on them.
Hey man, Pet Tigers has been so much fun, and we've done so many things, and we keep putting out new music. We're actually recording more tunes now. We just put out a single called Fuckboy, spelled PHUKBOI, so it's definitely not a swear word or any type of
It doesn't
whatever.
even reference anything.
But it is about fuckboys. But
The
yeah.
illustration is like, oh, that guy. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, totally. You get the drift when you see it. for
Dragon
sure.
tattoos.
Yep. Oh yeah. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, so we've got some news nuggets to throw at you.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like chicken nuggets.
Yeah, with the USB news nuggets. Oh, Josh mentions that Franzia is his Capri Sun. This is great. I love that reference. Also, Bigfoot autoerotica? What does it mean when it's autoerotica as opposed to regular erotica? Is this Bigfoot's like solo Bigfoot time?
I don't know.
I don't
An
know.
autoerotica?
We were talking about how Bigfoot in a porn context isn't necessarily bad because there's lots of fuzzy women and they're great. That's fine. I don't mind fuzzy people. When you frame it like that, like a feminine coat of fur. You know?
God.
I'm okay with that.
I can't believe this is a conversation. Nope, never really think about Bigfoot. He's cool. He does his thing.
I
He
mean,
hides.
actual Bigfoot sounds smelly. But like when you pull it into that
Fantasy.
cartoon, exactly.
Yeah, when you crimp his hair, get him all gussied up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bow tie.
Hollywood Bigfoot.
Yeah, bow tie and glasses, definitely. Studley.
Totally.
Get his hair all Elvisified. I can
Yeah.
see that.
Suspenders?
You just need
Does
to-
it have
Yeah,
suspenders?
yeah.
He makes an eloquent point, and he makes secure investments.
Right.
That's what I think would make.
He's
If we're talking about
responsible.
being sexy to a woman, you want to see good financial decisions. You want to see like well-formed, eloquent points. This is like
Is this like your little ladies? This is what a woman should look for. Do you know how to spend your monies? Check. Is this your check? checklist you give people?
This is like,
hey girl, you want to
yeah.
find a dude? Here's a checklist.
Yes, no, I don't disagree. I'm laughing, but no, you're seeing right through me.
We're just trying to get that Bigfoot erotica book published. That's all.
Yeah, we talked about what I was looking for in Bigfoot erotica, and I was like, oh, some fuzzy girl.
Damn it.
Oh, she's like, she's
was
got
trying to
feminine hair,
change
and that's it. Like that's all I needed.
I was just trying to change the subject, and
No,
you
fail.
apparently are good at
No.
going right back.
I can't get over it. No, this is how we change
awkward.
this. We have a tool for this. Check it out. Okay, you guys, we're going in the submarine. This is the new submarine. We're going to dive to a new depth. And check it out. Now there's so that beeping, that's like spy time. We're going to investigate in the submarine. We've got our magnifying glasses out. What do you... It's probably totally irrelevant to
right.
what you were going to say.
All right, let's just dive into this one. This seems like a nice, wholesome, family-friendly topic. Twitter let kill all Jews trend.
Yeah, and Facebook, I kind of combined two things at the same time, in that if there really is any kind of AI monitoring these things, it's not like working yet.
It's not working?
They don't think they have it turned on, or I don't understand how companies can hire so much staff as they hire and use none of them for moderating shit. It seems like
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but they have AI to do that.
supposedly.
It sucks, apparently.
The YouTube one right under that one is even more egregious. So, oh no, it was Facebook offered advertisers a white genocide option. So you could just like target people that believe that there's a white
Holy
genocide occurring.
Wow.
And worse yet is that some human in Facebook did approve that. They skirted around it. They're like, oh, some of these things get auto-approved, but according to any
who's
records of...
making the actual things that approve the things then?
This is something that at some point someone had to at least drunkenly click a checkbox on.
Right.
At some point within Facebook to have it pop up as an advertising option. They've got that way more locked down than categories that can, you might have a business and you don't open up a Facebook page for it. And sooner or later, enough people try to tag it that Facebook generates an automatic page for it.
Right.
That's way more forgivable. This is an advertising like targeting category.
Yeah.
It's so silly.
That's actually planned out. It's in there. That's not, yeah. It's
Or
not like how you're
it
saying.
was automatically suggested by some algorithm, but
Right.
some employee had to check a checkbox
Yep.
on that. Just like, well, hey, genocide's bad. That's a color. Click. More wine.
Yeah,
Back to
right.
Facebook.
More friends.
It's like
yeah.
a wine book. I'm
Wine
just seeing a
book.
lot of evidence of wine-based decisions on Facebook. Right now.
True. That's very true.
Yeah, I think everyone on Facebook is drinking wine all the time.
Dude, we need to talk about your teeth in the wall. Hold on. Teeth. Found in a wall.
I know, it seems like I
We
saw
have to
that.
sensationalize it.
Yeah, I saw the headline and it's pretty lame. It's like it was this
There's
old,
just a bunch of teeth in a wall.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just this old dentist office that they didn't know about.
But it
and
was
then-
like 1,000. That's a lot.
yeah, but
like
it's like
gross.
You remember how many teeth?
Yes.
Wow. Up
I
to
read
date.
it.
Yeah. Kudos. Hey, you're prepared.
I was like, I guess this is cool, but I just thought it was like the Tooth Fairy's real hideout.
Yeah, that's a way. The headline's cooler than the actual story.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah,
one of those
yeah.
stories. Yeah,
All
You're
of it's
like,
cooler
oh.
than looking at the pictures. This is a great radio headline. No one needs to see the pictures of this. I know.
No, it was gross.
No, it's old teeth. That's
I mean,
great.
they're
No one
yellow,
needs to see
you know?
that.
Yeah.
I think they were all cavity ridden, so
Brown
lame.
and stuff,
Yeah,
dirty.
gross.
When there's dust on them. Teeth don't
Grossy
get dusty.
McGrocerson, yeah.
Oh, teeth
dust.
getting dust on them is just, it's such a horrible thing. That's like, that
Well, they're
bothers me
already
so
out of a
much.
human. They didn't need to be brushed, so it was already done.
Imagine
that part of it was.
teeth in a human for long enough in such a situation that they were able to gather dust. Like that person just let
Yeah,
dust
the
get on their
Crypt
teeth.
Keeper were cool. No worry.
Oh,
I'm
how
good.
long were you smiling that your teeth got dusty?
Just never
so
close your
gross.
mouth.
Gross.
That probably happens to that Anthony Tony. He probably gets mad dusty
Smiles
teeth.
too much.
Smiling
Yeah,
around.
it's not
You know
good
that
for your
Anthony
teeth.
Tony?
I don't know if
Anthony
I
Toning
do.
around. It's what I call Tony Robbins. I just call him Anthony Tony. Sometimes people call him Anthony Robbins. Sometimes people call him Tony Robbins. He's that motivational speaker
I think
guy.
only you call
okay,
him
yes,
Anthony.
and I-
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
He's got to have dusty teeth, smiling around all
Yeah,
dusty.
smiling all the time.
Dusty, going to dusty places and just smiling, not blinking.
What?
Well, because he's a robot. He's a robot lizard. So like lizard people made a robot one of them. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
This is gonna combine conspiracies. All about my boy Anthony Tony and his
Yeah.
dusty teeth. Dusty teeth Tony. All right, enough about Dusty Teeth Tony.
That guy.
We're trying to, this is a little bit higher pace than if you had been for the whole episode.
Oh, yes.
We're squeezing max reaction value out of you.
Yes, I see.
We know you can handle it.
Oh, yes. It's like wringing out a sponge. I got you.
Yeah, we don't have to start in first gear with you as a guest. We can burn some rubber right away. Host and rubber.
My Lord.
This one, I don't know how to feel about this one. The dude who they named Super Mario after passed away. And so now people know that there was an actual guy that they named Super Mario after.
I know how to feel about it.
Yeah.
Totally melancholy that he didn't want to be appreciated. So also kind of yearnfully respectful is my feeling specifically. But yeah, there was this dude, a landlord named Mario that was a lot like the Mario. And the legend goes that because he was a superintendent, he was Super Mario.
Wow.
But the super part's been debunked because that was like years later they added super to it. And everything was super then.
Yeah.
So, but still that was like, well, super.
That's pretty
This is
cute.
Yeah, I like that part.
That's cute.
He's a cute little dude.
And he has a legacy, so that's great.
Yeah.
He lives on.
But he didn't want that legacy. He didn't want to be known for that. So that's why it's after he died that it's like news.
That's pretty cool, though.
He did joke after a while that he was waiting for his royalty checks. Though.
Yeah. Because people brought it up
In jest, yeah.
Yeah, I would be in serious.
That
Right.
mustache though.
Yeah. You can't make up that mustache.
Hey, he's a
Right.
superintendent, owns all these properties that Nintendo moved into. He makes financial decisions, all good. He's got the whole shebang there. He checks off the boxes.
That's awesome.
Yep, that's that.
I'm done with that guy.
That's that. Poor Mario.
So, hey, we didn't mention any sponsors. There's this new sponsor, the Hot Box. Have you heard about them?
Oh,
There's this box here, and
Yes.
they're your guest to your left. These hot
To my
boxes
left?
can be brought to you. Literally, you have to look further
Oh my
left.
God.
Boom. Ta-da. It seems like you're not really looking at what I'm talking about. But no, the hot box, they bring that to you. There can be hot food in it. There can be snacks in it. That particular
Really?
one had all kinds of neat. Open up. There's probably like some leftover noodles or something.
Gross.
No, the dry kind where you don't unwrap the noodle yet.
Just like
No.
ramen. Yeah, it's
like-
still kind
That
of
one
gross.
didn't have
No,
any-
is this like a scary thing? I don't want to.
No.
No, it's not.
No.
Leave it. It's,
You have Franzia on your chair. How can I trust you?
it's making me stop touching the microphone so much. Don't even worry about it. You don't even have to trust me. There's probably just garbage in it now. It doesn't even matter. I mean, I took the snacks I wanted out of it, but it legit had snacks in it, and you can have snacks brought to you by Hotbox. Mention
That's cool.
RadioVegas.Rocks.
Yes.
And they'll totally wink knowingly at you. And also, Naked City Pizza. You've been to that.
Yes, Naked City.
Gonna get them pepperoni cups. The pepperoni cups we know and love.
Never.
Well, it turns out if you get the pepperoni variety,
Yes.
half of their pepperonis are cut in such a way that they form little cups, kind of like those hot corn poppers that we had as kids.
No
You flip them inside out and they pop up.
Yeah.
But made of meat.
Dude.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's half the pepperonis. The other ones are sliced a different way. So have a pepperoni variety station.
Ooh, very
Yeah.
nice.
And it's not even round. You can get your pizza rectangularly. Shoot. So, Cold Cock Whiskey, always got to bring up them. They're also good buddies, intrinsically tied to our friends at Hangover Joe's.
Woohoo.
So glad to have a new stock of Hangover Joe's in the building. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be so invested in this box of wine.
Exactly.
Mitigation of consequences is the name of the game.
Yep.
I mean, that's my slogan for them.
Checks and balances.
Yeah.
In the body. Yep.
Hangover Joe's, mitigation of consequences.
Oh, yes.
Oh, man, speaking of competitors, to them, have you heard about the Maloof drink?
Maloof?
You know, the Maloof family that owns the Palms, they also own the Never Hungover.
Oh, yes,
And they
yes,
changed
yes,
the
yes.
name to Never Too Hungover. They recently changed the name to, what is it, like Drinkums or something?
Like, hey, man, we're trying.
Drink Aid.
Drink
no,
Aid.
Drink Aid, which is not a bad name. Shout out. Kudos, you guys. I don't think I hate that name at all. And what I like about it is it's less libelous than claiming that it's going to do anything for your hangover for sure. Because some hangovers are hopeless.
I've used that before, and actually, I feel like $1 million the next day.
It worked great. Hangover Joe's works great too.
Yep.
as much as Hangover Joe's is a sponsor, and it's actually my favorite because I like the flavor better, and I can drink it in place of like 5 Hour and get that B vitamin situation. Whereas the Maloof one, I don't like the flavor as good, but it definitely works. And I haven't done the studies with any accuracy to say which one truly works better, even though I'm inclined to say Hangover Joe's works better because I'm in bed with them.
Yeah, and I would say Hangover Joe's works better.
Yeah, but full disclosure, full honesty, they're both awesome, and Hangover Joe's I have way more experience with, and I loved the experience. So those guys, and they didn't keep changing their name because they picked a name that was legal to begin with.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, the part that I really thought was funny, though, is that the new slogan for Drink Aid is the Hangover Experts. So I just read that and just pictured the Maloof family just getting toasted all the time. It's like, yeah, we're hangover experts. Like, no, we know. We deal with hangover people. We own the Palms. It's Hangover Central. That's where hangovers are born.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So,
All right.
Very good.
yeah, here we got that. Oh, yeah, that's right. Those horns. Oh, no. Danger horns.
We had a more dog news.
The stinger dog news. No, recap. Last week's dog news was we had a dog that shot his owner. And the owner said, he's still a good dog. He didn't intend. The dog didn't knowingly. It wasn't premeditated. It's just you leave your gun in the back seat. Your dog's clomping around back there. Sometimes the gun can swoop over and aim it. Shot him good, too. Like, tore up his torso a bit. He's like, had to drive himself to the hospital all, like, shark victim
My dog
looking.
shot me.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's my dog. But the creepy part of this yet is that there was a moment where he turned around, saw his dog's paw stuck in the trigger area. It's like, oh no, let me dislodge your paw from this. Too late, dog shot you. But you had that moment where like, oh no, I let my life come to this. Where my dog's paw is in the trigger of my gun.
Please?
Should be.
Yeah.
But the lesson, if this ever happens to me, I'm smacking the barrel first.
Yeah, get
If
it
you-
pointed away from you.
Yeah. Always smack the barrel if your pet's got a gun. Because pets aren't trained for this.
Well, they
They're
don't
not-
have opposable thumbs, so yeah.
No, they don't even know to aim the barrel at you. They don't get what's going on for sure. They might have seen it fire before.
I just travel without a gun in my backseat loaded.
Yeah, I mean,
Where your dog
there's
is.
gun racks for vehicles.
That's not very safe.
But you're just like, you're living that gun life. You can't afford getting a rack for them. You just got to toss them shits in the back seat.
Yeah.
To hell
I'm
with it.
done with this for now.
All clanking around back there. It's a pile of guns. I got a dog back there too. He's been trained though. He's got his license.
Perfectly safe.
He's licensed. He took the questionnaire.
There's no part of that story that's
Yeah,
like,
just bang around.
yeah,
That's where I throw
none
him.
of it.
And it's a seat. It's padded. It's safe there.
Oh man.
Where I keep the gun. I just throw that back there.
But I like that he said it wasn't premeditated.
This dog had no bad. He's still a good boy.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't know that for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, if he travels like that with his guns in the backseat of the dog, then maybe it was premeditated. He's like,
He was a high
this is
risk.
the last fucking time. You get my kibbles and bitch.
It's the last time I'll let you ride back with the guns.
Oh man.
What happened last time?
Oh my god.
man.
So
Well, now this news isn't as exciting.
Yeah, smack the barrel,
Oh my
everybody.
God.
If you ever see an animal with a gun, smack the barrel first. Then try to dislodge the animal from the gun.
Right.
Yeah, this one's way
way more
less
chill.
mortal. This animal was fully good. What was this one?
This dog became a professional archaeologist.
Yeah. This dog found Bronze Age artifacts.
But dogs find bones, so they're already archaeologist.
True.
But they're not professionals.
But no, that's
Did
amateur
he
shit,
get
though.
his degree and does he wear a hat? That's the
Yeah.
only way, really?
This dog
he's
can buy a lot of
he's like
hats.
Indiana
degree?
Jones.
No, I'm saying he got a hat for sure. He's wearing a hat right now.
Okay, fine.
He gets to
But
wear all
that's
kinds of
silly,
hats now.
man. God, that's silly.
Imagine all the hats you can buy with Bronze Age artifacts.
Does he have a pipe too and like parts of a mustache?
The
Yeah, he has
picture
a
you're
whip.
painting is so great. No, we've got to pause a moment and stew on this picture you're painting of this archaeologist dog. It's like they show a picture of the dog and it's like one of those tweed jackets with the
Yes.
elbow patches.
He has a monocle.
Yes, a monocle. He's
man.
got to have a pipe because
There's a
in
whip.
between digging, he's got to take a chill.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Martini.
totally.
And then he has on his back on his outfit will be a shovel just in case and some picks on the side.
little tiny
Yeah,
dog
dog
shovel.
picks.
Oh man.
Man.
A dog digging with a shovel.
The back the
So cute.
shovel strapped to the back of the dog. Like he's just got the shovel at the ready, but no explanation of how his limbs are going to operate the shovel. He's just carrying it around on his back like a
That's it.
like an
love it.
archaeologist ready to go.
All right.
He's got the brush in his mouth. brushing
Yeah.
the bones off.
Yes.
You turn that one around.
That's money. This is a money
Yeah.
idea.
I love it. All right.
Hey y'all, I've got some Bronze Age artifacts. A little drooly. Gonna rinse them
Old
off.
Rolly.
Okay, we talked about the water world. Oh, dude, I got like 2 things up on this Hyperloop. We're about to actually.
What?
So the Hyperloop is a concept where you have a train in a tunnel. Not too crazy there, but
Yeah.
here we now you put the train, hover it on magnets, so there's no friction with the track. Okay, cool. That's cool. We did that in the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's take it one step further. We take all the air out of the tunnel. Then there is nothing to slow this train down. It's like a space train in a tube.
Okay.
And then you just make sure there's some hatches, so if things like crash or get jammed up, you can get out the tunnel. They let air go into the tunnel if there's an accident.
Oh, cool.
You can let air into it right away in a certain area.
That seems like it would fail though.
Well-
in some parts.
I was scared about being in a train in a tunnel, but it turns out people do that a lot
Yeah.
in cities that aren't as car dependent as
Yes.
over here on the West Coast. So like that's been okay. You can live with that.
But the no air thing.
The no air thing, yeah. But there's air in your pod. It's just not around it. But air can get in there pretty quick. I mean, that's going to be your issue if there's structural integrity issues to the thing and you suddenly get air pressure. Oh, your train just goes slower.
This sounds Titanic-y to me.
Well, you're not going to drown.
Yeah, but they're like, ooh, it's totally blah. Everyone's gonna be whoa. And then it's like, oh fuck, everyone died. Whoops. The train got stuck in one spot where we couldn't get the air. It was weird though. But everyone just we're trying it again. It's cool.
That's how mankind works. I was really scared of the idea, but now I'm really into it. And you can actually go in LA now and see the first of this type of train go and take its first route. So there's probably going to be some neat event with balloons and riding it for free and maybe some gelato.
Which is totally hilarious that it's a tube train underground with balloons, like everything's above ground. I'm just saying.
I made up the balloon part. I even made up the gelato, but I mean, right? That's gonna be so
Gelato.
cool.
I love that they include balloons and gelato as a party for you then.
If I were
like
going to
your
open up my
fantasy.
Hyperloop station, like F ice cream, Dippin' Dots aren't even futuristic enough. This is high class. This is a gelato event.
There needs to be no ice cream. That'd be futuristic enough.
Oh, dude.
No
wow.
air, no ice cream to give you a cup. Imagine.
That's horrible. Imagine all the kids crying.
Or would they?
Oh,
Or no,
Hyperloop
first
tears.
you hand out the ice cream, and then you just like smack it out of their hand.
There you go. I'd be
Welcome
like,
to Hyperloop.
when you said Hyperloop, I thought you said lube. I was like, I don't know where this is going. That seems really fast. You would want that like way too fast.
Since we're talking about sponsors, we are sponsored by Spunk Lube, which is a lubricant that resembles semen. So that can inspire you when you're in a situation where you need a sexual lubricant.
Someone say the lubricant of the future.
Yeah, Spunk Lube. It's non-staining.
The
It
Hyperlube.
tastes great, and they're a real sponsor. Any port in a storm, some people get hungry.
That's true. Yeah, my cellar's full of it, so I can make sure that I need to eat something. It's there.
Frosty cake.
Yeah, in case,
We all have that
Cheers.
friend that would appreciate that. It's for that one friend. They're like, hey, guess what that icing is? And they'll go,
Oh my
what is it?
all right.
Are you that friend?
After enough of this box wine, for sure.
Oh my god.
I have modified the box out of my
Yeah, you don't
antsiness.
modify box wine boxes, yo.
Yeah,
This isn't a soapbox competition.
this antsiness thing, it's like restless hand syndrome. One time I had one of those little tiny SD cards, the micro SD card, and it was in a USB reader. And it was the kind where, you push the card in, it clicks in, you push it again, and it pops out. I was fiddling with that thing, and it popped out like Nerf style, flung across the room, this very room, and it's missing to this day. I'm hoping some archaeologist finds it. And it's like,
Archaeologist dog.
yeah, sniffs out. It smells like my
cool.
weird hands.
That's cool. That's
Oh my
groovy.
goodness.
Memory card smells like box wine.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they call me all wine hands.
Wine.
Old wine fingers.
Would you stop with the fingers?
Wine fingers.
Can't help it. All right.
It's all about doing a stinger and whispering. That's the funnest part of
Yeah.
the show. Is you just bust out a little. That's right. Wine fingers. That's why I love the mics, because of that proximity effect. It's not the same unless you like get up on there and you're like, hey, it's that intimate time right now, buddy. Yeah, that's right.
God.
Speaking of that intimate time, it wouldn't sound the same without the kicker headphones.
Yeah.
You're only not wearing a pair because I had to steal the headphone feeds for the Facebook.
okay.
But you know what's going on from your broadcast. These headphones, honestly, if I were to choose any pair of headphones to bounce off a wall in order to keep them, it would be these, because other headphones would not survive the wall bounce as well as these.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't test me on this, but the fact that all of them are still working in this station with these mongrels
Yeah.
is a testament for sure.
For sure.
Tight seams. When you
yeah.
like see the body panel seams on a product or a car,
Yeah.
specifically if I'm saying body panel. Tesla's got criticism for this, being their price range, having the gap between the body panels not be like the tightest gap. Tight gaps right here, you guys.
Tight
Kicker
gaps.
headphones.
Tight. Tight. All right, we gotta jump on this one because this seems kind of crazy.
And we're getting towards the end. It's like
Yeah.
the tail end situation.
The world's first AI news anchor debuted in China.
Oh, that's a recent nugget from you. I haven't gotten a chance to
I
peep
just
this fella out.
snapped that up before I got off work, but
I'm kind of like surprised this hasn't been a thing already, since there's already like AI pop stars and stuff.
yeah, it's really
holograms.
crazy. It's like a legit robot that looks really like a
Oh, they did it with a
fucking
robot.
human.
But why though?
Like, look at that. That's
Yeah,
I'm
but
like, why robot when you can CG that fella? It's
but
not
why
like people
can't
have
we
to
just
touch
have
it.
people? Because then they are humans.
People are weak.
I suppose they never have to take a potty break.
right.
People cry when you yell at them.
And they
Listen,
don't have to wear clothes on the bottom. They're just robot.
listen to what he
That's the best part, though. You want to build that part out the most.
listen to what it says though on it. It's on its first broadcast. The development of the media industry calls for continuous innovation and deep integration with the international advanced technologies.
Whoa, sold.
I will work tirelessly to keep you informed as text will be typed into my system uninterrupted. I look forward to bringing you the brand new news experiences.
Damn, who's your
He sounds
copywriter?
really warm and fuzzy. I like him.
Jeez.
He sounds very like I would like to hang out with him.
Right.
Really
If
nice guy.
if the person that writes his copy for sales also writes his journalism copy, it's going to be some serious heavy hitting.
Before we go, I'd like to send my good wishes to all of the journalists across the country. As an AI anchor under development, I know there's a lot for me to improve.
What?
Kind of fucking
humble, too.
scary, right?
It is.
You guys, we've been reading AI blogs for a long time.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the article we're reading from a journalism outlet is either a human or even an AI. We've looked at these somewhere that we worked before, was like shopping around for these for SEO to find an article online, rewrite its grammar, but still have it legible, and then post it again as original content.
What?
to
Yeah,
try
That's
to.
like cheating.
That's been
Yeah.
a thing for a while.
Where
Yeah.
the language is different enough that it seems like a new person's spin on it. But I mean, before that was even a thing, that's something people would do. It's like,
That's called high school.
lots of journalism outlets today that we were reading aren't the source. They rewrote something from Reuters or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
AAP. It's
Bummer,
the same thing,
man.
yeah. I don't think it's that much of a bummer, just how it is, but being aware of it's a thing.
That's true. Yeah, awareness is cool.
When it's done really shoddy, it's really funny too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
this is not the original
Right.
article.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I could dig it.
And I just imagine like it's just I am propaganda bot. Here's-
Yeah. Yeah.
Go buy Facebook ads,
This
propaganda
is what
bot.
this is what you believe.
Yeah. It sounds cool. Sounds neat.
Yeah, but it also could be kind of scary. but-
No, it's very scary. I was just being sarcastic.
It's like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
kid.
Yes.
It's like getting like a kids network. You know, Nickelodeon news has a lot more supervision than like adult news for what those kids get to say on the camera. That's how we have to be with our AI.
Right.
You just have to like not feed it, some under voltage it when it's bad.
Oh my god.
Turn down the variac. You're not getting as much voltage, sir.
Dude, I
see you
think
moving all slow,
We're all
hungry.
headed down a very scary path. That's all I'm saying. With all this AI shit.
We just gotta learn to under voltage it. It's like in our laws. Any AI that breaks
You know
these
we're
laws,
not. It's not gonna happen.
you will be under voltaged.
No, oh my god.
You will be underclocked.
No. Then this is like movies and stuff. No.
I've been underclocked for on 11 years. Won't let me
Lots
succeed
of stuff.
Just gotta hit him with the cattle prod.
because I'm a black AI.
Yeah. God.
Silence.
They get
after
the
that.
most
Yeah.
underclocked. Yeah, discrimination exceeds. Because, you know, if it's a program, it can just change. Like I'm trying to be more Asian. Like I could just program that stuff in, and then I wouldn't be able to get into Harvard anymore. 'Cause
Oh my gosh.
Harvard doesn't let Asian people
Wow.
in as much. Like they legit discriminate. It's like
I
some
did
of the
read
worst.
an article about that.
It's so sick. Yeah.
Ugh.
Fuck Harvard, you
Lame,
guys.
dude.
I'm never going to Harvard because of that. I'm boycotting
We're all
Harvard.
boycotting Harvard, yeah.
All right, well,
I was never going to
They're
school there. now.
screwed, that's for
yeah,
sure.
they're missing out.
oh yeah.
None of this guy there. Oh, one with two. The second thing happens. Got a gasp at the end. That's how it's.
Yes.
Yeah, we're blockbustering.
What's
Yeah.
this marijuana job you got on here, man?
Oh,
I need
Ange Kerfoot found this one. Shout out to crack anchor Ange Kerfoot. Apparently, there's a job you can get where you just smoke a bunch of weed and show off what a great time you're having smoking this brand of weed at like festivals and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Saw that. Read it. Interesting. Intriguing. It pays pretty well too. Looks like. I mean, you can kind of
It sounds.
live a life-ish if you have your bills paid.
If you really break down what you'd really be doing, though, it sounds actually awful. First, sounds amazing, dream life, great,
Yeah.
right? Already doing that, not getting paid. But when it's like under pressure, like you gotta smoke
You
enough.
will have fun.
Like, yeah.
Will show your smile.
Like, oh man,
Yeah.
am I having enough fun?
Yeah.
Do I look like? Oh man, I don't
That's
feel like
true,
I'm having
man.
enough fun. I don't feel like I look like I'm having.
That's why you
enough
gotta
fun.
be an avid. You know, you just have to not give a. You know what, and be like, yeah, give it,
Yeah.
and just be like, take pics, yo.
I would be afraid of turning into like Ryan Seacrest or that TRL guy, or it's just
I
like
don't think so.
you have to be all smiley and they're just slowly dying
Like
inside.
you're
And
I mean, the people that I know that smoke weed are usually pretty smiley. So I think it's like one of the side effects. So I think you're gonna be okay.
yeah, I think we'll
I think it
survive.
might work. Might work for somebody. I think it's a
Might
good
not
job.
be too hard a time.
Might not be.
It's not sewer engineering.
right.
I think I just end up like posting like Facebook live videos about how like the cops are after me or something. even though it's
Paranoia
legal.
feed.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like endlessly paranoid. I'd be like, okay, guys, I'm not sure, but I think the CIA is in the crowd right now, and they're after me.
Oh my gosh.
Just like stupidly paranoid.
So ridiculous.
Can't help it.
I'm so proud of the efficiency on this one because we chomped through like 3 pages of news on this one.
Chomped through it.
Yeah, we talked about ocean planets.
Oh yeah, I read a little bit about that. That Waterworld stuff, that's crazy. Well, then they're trying to talk about like the first thing, like that they're trying to find that first nugget. that started it all. It's crazy.
Can you believe that we didn't know for sure that there are even planets around the other stars that we'd look up and see until only a few years ago?
Yeah, it's
The first,
crazy.
it was on our show, I think it was first season, that we talked about the first really compelling, confirmed by multiple sources, data where distant stars are twinkling in a way that can be measured as being caused by a planet passing in front of them.
No.
And then Kepler was part of that, the space probe that recently perished after going way further than its mission and discovering at least
It knew it was
5,000
done.
planets so
It
far.
wanted to end on a high note.
Well, we're still going over data from it and looking at spots that it found and confirming more planets.
Very cool, man.
Yeah, we didn't even know there was other planets. And then to find out that there's like a normal kind of planet, supposedly. These water worlds seem to be like the most common kind of one.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. It's
Water
steamy,
world.
though.
Steamy?
Yeah. Have you heard about surfacism and people being surfacists? It's the idea that we're discriminating against worlds that don't have a physical surface that we can land on. Say, for example, Venus, its physical surface is so hot and you have to go through such thick, high-pressure atmosphere to get to it that you'd be crushed by the time you got to something that was like
But that's not
solid form of matter.
discriminating. We literally can't do anything.
We can float
What?
on a surface of one atmosphere, its
Dude.
boundary to another.
What?
So if you think about our ocean as an
No.
atmosphere,
Yes.
it's like the difference between how water flows and gas flows can be, as far as how you deal with it mechanically, irrelevant. We make a barge,
Yeah.
we're living on surface tension and buoyancy. So if you have this thick ass gas, and you can float on it just like on a barge on Venus.
Right.
And these gases have all of there's methane, there's hydrogen we can use for fuel. We can combine hydrogen and oxygen over there and make water, rip the oxygen out of this thing. And there's just all these thick things we can get what we need out of, way easier than trying to pull moisture out of the dust of Mars's surface. We're looking at that. Seriously, we're taking we're planning on doing that. And that sounds way harder than pulling it out of what we're floating on Venus. Venus is closer. It's like 2/3 the distance to get to compared to
Wow.
Mars. It's just every way you could look at it financially from like a legit logic business perspective, we could colonize Venus easier than Mars. But just that fear of like going there and not really landing on it.
Could you make meth out of the atmosphere?
Hella meth. The atmosphere is like mostly meth already.
We're going there.
So there's people lining up just to tweak out. There's mobile homes.
I was just excited about Pluto being a planet again. I was like,
No, it's not.
sad. What?
Who's saying that?
Yeah, it's back in the game, dude.
It's a planetoid. Yeah, but
It started and then it was like, no, we're not cool with you, and now it's like, we're cool with you again. You're cool.
okay, but if we're counting it as a planet, we have to count Ceres in the asteroid belt. We have to count the other one. I forget what it's called. That's
Alright.
Pluto's size in the back. So it's like
Well, we might be getting some new brothers and sisters then. Who
we
knows?
totally already have.
It'd be cool. I mean, I'm just saying in science projects at school and stuff when you're all like, oh, here. I mean, I know kids today don't do the lame ones that we used to do. Like, here's this thing, and it's all the planets and stuff. It's cool.
I like
I
there
totally did
being
that.
some kind
know-
of discrimination. Given that there's moons bigger than Pluto, I think that there should be like some way that you discriminate planets and planetoids. I was cool with that planetoid like term.
Well,
But
it might
yeah.
be a planetoid or whatever, but it's in the mix. It's like it's like a cousin of those.
It orbits the sun.
Like we're in it, man. We're in it. It's cool.
I imagine some like kids' science projects, and they're like, "Oh, what's this? That's Pluto. It's not a planet, you idiot!" Boom, F.
Backhand.
Yeah.
Stomp.
Yeah. Dad just like teacher just
man.
crushes it, body slams the kid.
Yeah,
Boom.
that's not cool.
That paper mache crunching sound. It's not cool, but it's kind of delicious to picture.
Yeah.
Crushing people's dreams. I know.
Yeah.
What a dream, though. Get a different dream. It's like,
Well, you know what I mean. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
most judgmental thing possible. Your dream sucks. Dream about something else.
It's never gonna be a planet.
Right,
I crush
yeah,
pussy dreams.
Not good enough.
Crush those.
God.
Dream judgment.
Oh Lord. I entertained your whole Bigfoot porno shit.
Yeah, I lost
so.
you on this judging these dreamers.
Bigfoot erotica.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's dignified.
Bigfoot porno.
All right, everyone, make sure to
I
send
know.
your film ideas to PyongyangInternationalFilmFestival.com
Yeah.
and report back.
We are.
We're all going
Pyongyang
to.
in North Korea is having an international film festival.
And make sure to use the president or the name of an old president.
Yeah.
Like send some from Richard Nixon.
It's great.
Jello Biafra.
You
He
can
was the
tell they
president, right?
used like a very modern, up-to-date WordPress plugin to make it, like in one of those nice, responsive WordPress themes. But then they put in it like the most 70s looking movies. Like, these are our previous winners. Look at this advanced technology. It's like we colorized it.
Yeah. All right.
So we're gonna submit. We're gonna have. We actually had some help from viewers suggesting ideas. What did Josh say is called Snoop Dogg? Oh, Natalie says there's no such thing as smiling too much. Hell yeah, she got them dusty teeth. Yeah, I don't know.
It
Josh,
was about some like family falling in love with a half-eaten piece of tree bark or something. I don't know. It sounded great though.
yeah, it's gonna be this plot. There's tree bark. There's a fearless leader wins. He's got a fearless leader of the day.
Nice.
So get that day fearlessly led. So hey, keep staying around RadioVegas.Rocks and call each of the sponsors individually and mention us to them. And then visit Pinche's Tacos, of course. You're going to get that free gringo taco with your blood orange margarita, which you want both of those things anyway if you're over there. Trust me. It's a good time. Strip and dip chicken, the perfect substrate for dips to be on. Just absorbs them with the right way you want your chicken to be sauced. And like a palette of sauces to paint a sauce rainbow. I love you guys. Whee. All right, now don't talk smack yet because I need to turn off the stream in the other places. Bye, iTunes. Okay, now gonna say bye to Facebook and YouTube, FaceTube and YouBook. Bye
And yearbook?
YouBook.
Oh, you.
YouBook tubes.